Majority Leader Scheffel.
Thank you, Madam President. Colleagues, thanks for your patience. We're ready to head back to work here. There has been a special order second reading of bills calendar, which has been distributed on your desks. I've gone over that with leadership and the various folks that we're calling upon to do their bills. What this requires, colleagues, is a two-part motion. Step number one is a motion to suspend the rules, in particular Rule 15C, this one instance only, for today only, which allows us to bring up these bills. What we're doing is we're pulling bills that went through appropriations this morning and a couple from a couple other miscellaneous committees. Again, I've gone over that with leadership, and then we'll do a second motion to bring this up on special orders. So let's do the first one first. Madam President, I move the Senate suspend Rule 15C for purposes of bringing up a special orders calendar made up of bills that have not been listed on the calendar for the requisite period of time. Ask for an aye vote.
The motion before the body is to suspend the rules for special order second reading of bills. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the motion passes. Majority Leader Scheffel.
Thank you, Madam President. So now part two, colleagues. It's going to be a special orders calendar. It's been distributed to you. And so I will go ahead and make the motion, Madam President, that the Senate take up a special order second reading of bills calendar comprised of House Bill 1349, House Bill 1402, House Bill 1282, House Bill 1197, Senate Bill 201, Senate Bill 203, Senate Bill 205, House Bill 1425, House Bill 1324, Senate Bill 202, House Bill 1280, House Bill 1373, Senate Bill 163, House Bill 1387, Senate Bill 193, Senate Bill 87, House Bill 1056, Senate Bill 138, Senate Bill 143, and Senate Bill 69 at the hour of 2:22.
The motion before the body is to take up special order second reading of bills as listed by the Majority Leader. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. The ayes have it, and the motion passes. Senator Sonnenberg.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that we now resolve ourselves into a committee of the whole for the purpose of special orders, second reading of bills. Yippee-yi-yay.
All right, the motion before the body is to resolve into the committee of the whole for consideration of special orders, second reading of bills, calendar, yippee-yi-yay. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. The motion is adopted, and the Senate will resolve itself into the committee of the whole for the consideration of special order second reading of bills, and Senator yippee-yi-yay Sonnenberg will take the chair.
Absolutely. The committee will come to order. The coat rule is relaxed. The coat rule is also relaxed for staff and sergeants. Mr. Majors, the kinder, gentler chair is back. Please read the title of House Bill 1349.
House Bill 1349 by Representatives Ryden and Nordberg and Senator Carroll concerning continuation of the voluntary contribution to the Military Family Relief Fund.
Senator Carroll.
Mr. Chair, I move House Bill 1349 on second reading. Members, this continues the Military Family Relief Fund, and I ask for an aye vote.
Seeing no further discussion, the question before us is the adoption of House Bill 1349. All those in favor signify by saying aye. All those opposed say no. House Bill 1349 is adopted. Mr. Majors, please read the title of House Bill 1402.
House Bill 1402 by Representatives Becker, Kay, and Lawrence, and Senators Holbrook and Garcia concerning prohibition on the use of a device to allow a person to place a wager on a previously run sporting event.
Senator Holbert. Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move the committee lay over House Bill 1402 to follow House Bill 1282.
The motion before us is to move House Bill 1402, one more down the list. All those in favor signify by saying aye. All those opposed say no. The ayes have it. Senate Bill 1402 is laid over one bill. Mr. Majors, please read the title to House Bill 1282.
House Bill 1282 by Representatives Becker Kay and Pedersen and Senators Todd and Tate concerning the alignment of regular biennial school elections with disclosure requirements governing other election races under the Fair Campaign Practices Act and in connection therewith making an appropriation.
Senator Todd.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and I move House Bill 1282 on second reading.
Seeing no further discussion, the question before us is the adoption of House Bill 1282. All those in favor signify by saying aye. All those opposed say no. The ayes have it. House Bill 1282 is adopted. Mr. Majors, please read the title of House Bill 1402.
House Bill 1402 by Representatives Becker Kay and Lawrence and Senators Holbert and Garcia concerning prohibition on the use of a device to allow a person to replace a wager on a previously run sporting event.
Senator Holbert.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move House Bill 1402 and ask for an aye vote.
Seeing no further discussion, the question before us is the adoption of House Bill 1402. All those in favor signify by saying aye. All those opposed say no. The ayes have it. House Bill 1402 is adopted. Mr. Majors, please read the title of House Bill 1197.
House Bill 1197 by Representatives Carver and Melton and Senators Todd and Crowder concerning a requirement that state agencies implement a program to streamline the granting of occupational credentials to veterans based on military training and in connection therewith making an appropriation.
Senator Crowder.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move House Bill 1197
On seconds.
on seconds.
Seeing no further discussion, the question before us is the adoption of House Bill 1197. All those in favor signify by saying aye. All those opposed say no. The ayes have it. House Bill 1197 is adopted. Mr. Majors, please read the title of Senate Bill 201.
Senate Bill 201 by Senator Grantham and Representative Young concerning revising the child welfare funding mechanism.
Senator Lambert.
Need time? Need time? 201? Need time?
Oh, 201.
Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move that the committee lay over Senate Bill 201 to follow Senate Bill 203.
Motion before us is to move Senate Bill 201 to after 203. All those in favor signify by saying aye. All those opposed say no. The ayes have it. Senate Bill 201 will be laid over one bill. Mr. Majors, please read the title to Senate Bill 203.
Senate Bill 203 by Senator Lambert and Representatives Hamden and Reagan concerning the valuation of state tax expenditures.
Senator Lambert.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move Senate Bill 203 and the associated Appropriations Committee report.
To the Appropriations Committee report, Senator Lambert.
It added an appropriations clause, and it had some cleanup language of things that had been a technical problem with the bill drafting, and that was all that was in there. I'd ask for a...
Seeing no further discussion on the Appropriations Committee report, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The Appropriations Committee report is adopted. To the bill, Senator Lambert.
Thank you. 203 is a JBC bill that allows the state auditor to do some evaluations of the state tax expenditures every 5 years through a 5-year cycle. And that's about what it is. Then they will report that back to the legislature.
Seeing no further discussion, the question before us is the adoption of Senate Bill 203. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. The ayes have it. Senate Bill 203 is adopted. Mr. Majors, please read the title of Senate Bill 201.
Senate Bill 201 by Senator Grantham and Representative Young concerning revising the child welfare funding mechanism.
Senator Grantham.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move Senate Bill 201 and ask for an aye vote.
Seeing no further discussion, the question before us is the adoption of Senate Bill 201. All those, Senator Newell, if you think I'm going to wait, you better be in the well of raising your hand, Senator Newell.
Yippee-ki-yay. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Members, I appreciate the expediency, but I would like to know what you're doing with the child welfare funding mechanism. Thank you.
Senator Grantham.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is a JBC bill that we are sponsoring or requiring the Department of Human Services members working with the county departments the Departments of Human Services in each of the counties, and all the residential treatment providers, the HICPUF Joint Budget Committee, and we're reviewing the rate setting process for these residential treatment programs that are serving the youth in our child welfare system. This bill is also going to require that the Child Welfare Allocations Committee in the DHS to consider whether changes to the current method for allocating these child welfare funding are needed, and to examine some of the various aspects of the child welfare operations at the county level. And the biggest part of this is looking at this rate setting process, and just ask for your aye vote.
Senator Stedman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And colleagues, this is a bill that was originated in the Joint Budget Committee, and I'll also ask for an aye vote. And I just want to let you know there's a fair amount of history on this issue. There was actually a bill passed in 2005. That's 11 years ago. I believe it was House Bill 1084 that tried to set in process a group of folks to look at and work on these same issues, and it hasn't worked. And we're hoping this bill reinvigorates that group. It does provide a new direction and charge to them to examine these reimbursement issues and methodologies for determining reimbursement rates. And the bill enjoys, I think, quite a bit of support. It's something that the Budget Committee's been working on for much of the session, and I would encourage everyone to vote yes today.
Is there any other discussion? Seeing no other discussion, the question before us is the adoption of Senate Bill 201. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. The ayes have it. Senate Bill 201 is adopted. Mr. Majors, please read the title of Senate Bill 205.
Senate Bill 205 by Senator Lambert and Representative Hamner concerning payment for expenses of indignant parents.
Senator Lambert.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move Senate Bill 205. Members, this looks like a JBC bill. It acts like a JBC bill, except it's not officially a JBC bill. We just pulled a late bill, so we didn't have to go back and vote on it. But what this does is make a technical correction. When we started the Office of the Respondent Parent Counsel, we neglected, or we missed the fact that there was a little bit of additional money over in the Supreme Court or the State Court Administrator's Office that should have been transferred. We missed that in the long bill. This is budget neutral. It takes just one cash account, moves it over to the Respondent Parent Counsel where it belongs. That's all it does, and I ask for an aye vote.
Senator Stedman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's a good bill. It walks like a duck, it quacks like a duck, and it deserves your yes vote.
Seeing no further discussion, the question before us is the adoption of Senate Bill 205. All those in favor of the passage of Senate Bill 205, quack like a duck. All those opposed to 205, be quiet. No, say no. The quacks have it. That's probably not appropriate. Senate Bill 205 is adopted. Mr. Majors, please read the title of 1425.
House Bill 1425 by Representative Hamner and Senator Roberts concerning requirement for a licensed child care center to obtain records for a child enrolled in the center on a short-term basis.
Senator Roberts.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move House Bill 1425, and there are no committee reports.
Is there any discussion? Seeing no further discussion, the question before us is the adoption of House Bill 1420. Oh, I'm sorry. Senator Neville.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I've got a question for the, I guess the sponsor, whoever can. I noticed that there was an amendment apparently that was added on to the, in the House. I guess we can call it the Special Ski Area Amendment, which basically precludes students. Let's see, what does it say here? Student does not include a child who enrolls and attends a licensed child care center which is located at a ski area for up to 15 days or less in a 15 consecutive day period, more than twice in a calendar year, et cetera, et cetera. Is this a special ski area dispensation?
Senator Roberts.
Well, while I think all ski areas are special ski areas, it's not special dispensation. It's actually a paperwork reduction act, and I think it's a very good bill. It has to do with short-term programs where youth are coming in for a program at a ski area, and It's the collection of immunization records or not. Many times, the youth have already left the state before they could even get those records to the ski area, and the ski areas would have to kind of organize those. So I think it's a good paperwork reduction act, and I ask for your aye vote.
Further discussion, Senator Neville.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm trying to understand, I appreciate the reduction in paperwork, but why would this not apply equally to, let's say, religious camps and other, summer camps and those kind of things where people come in for usually 1 week to 2 weeks at a time, and they basically fit this same kind of parameter?
Any further discussion? Seeing none. The motion before the body is the adoption of 1425. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. The ayes have it. 1425 is adopted. Mr. Majors, please read the title to House Bill 1324.
House Bill 1324 by Representative Denal and Senator Sonnenberg concerning the availability of compounded pharmaceutical drugs for use by veterinarians to treat a patient's emergency condition in connection with making an appropriation.
Senator Sonnenberg.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move House Bill 1324, the Committee on Agriculture and Committee on Appropriations.
To the Appropriations and to the Agriculture Committee report. Anything on any discussion on the Agriculture Committee report? Seeing none, Agriculture Committee report is adopted. To the Appropriations Committee report, any discussion? The question for the body is the adoption of the Appropriations Committee report. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Appropriations Committee report adopted. To the bill, Senator Sonnenberg. To the bill, Senator Sonnenberg. Okay, Senator Sonnenberg. The motion before the body is the adoption of 1324. Are there any ayes? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say no. The ayes have it. 1324 is adopted. Mr. Majors, please read the title to Senate Bill 202.
Senate Bill 202 by Senator Stedman, Representative Young, concerning increasing access to effective substance use disorder services through designated regional managed service organizations and in connection therewith making an appropriation.
Senator Stedman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move Senate Bill 202, and I move the report of the Committee on Appropriations.
Is there any discussion on the report on appropriations? Seeing none, the question before us is the adoption of the Appropriations Committee report. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those say no, opposed say no. The ayes have it. The Appropriations Committee report is adopted. Senator Stedman to the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is a bill sponsored that I'm carrying on behalf of the Joint Budget Committee. It implements a decision item in the governor's budget request this year regarding substance use treatment that's funded by the proceeds of marijuana tax revenues. This bill invests $6 million in the expansion of access to substance use disorder services for people who struggle with addiction. This will be administered by managed service organizations, and it's intended to fill gaps in coverage, whether people have private insurance or Medicaid. Most folks do not have coverage for intensive residential services, and that is the first priority for these dollars. But the bill also requires a community needs assessment in each of the 7 catchment areas for the managed service organizations and allows the flexible funding for the money to be used to fill gaps, whether it's residential care or some other step-down service from residential care, or even prevention services if they have enough money in their region to do that. The bill is very strong on local control and is a smart and I think it's a smart investment in public health and behavioral health services, and I think it's very much in line with what voters had in mind when they legalized marijuana and said, let's tax it and put the money to good use. Please vote yes on 202.
Senator Crowder.
Just a question for the sponsor. Is this through the grant system, or is this actually allocated directly to existing services?
Senator Stedman.
The money will, thank you, Mr. Chairman, the money will be allocated to the existing managed service organizations. There are 7 MSO regions in the state. There are 4 different entities that have the contracts to be the managed service organization in those regions. They currently receive federal block grant funding from SAMHSA, the Substance Abuse something or other federal agency. And so these are organizations and structures that are already in place to take funding for substance use services. And this, with this marijuana tax revenue, really takes it to a new level and allows us to fund intensive services, residential services, things that people have not had adequate insurance coverage for before, or things that our Medicaid program won't pay for today. This is going to fill a lot of gaps and provide a lot of hope and hopefully recovery for people who struggle with addiction and have substance use disorders.
Senator Crowder.
Just another question, sir. You know, we have basically a heroin problem in southern Colorado, and we're just having stakeholders come together as to how to combat, if you will, this problem. So is there going to be enough latitude in these organizations that you speak of that we can take this money and direct it with the direction that the stakeholders felt would be the...
Senator Stedman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And Senator, that is exactly what the bill calls for. It allows each of the 7 regions to go through their own community needs assessment process and develop a community action plan of how to best apply these dollars in their region. And you're right, there are parts of the state where certain drugs are epidemic, and the heroin epidemic is very real. And for people struggling with that addiction, they often need these intensive level of services, residential care, that insurance, no one probably has a private insurance plan that pays for that level of residential care. Unless you can pay out of pocket, it's really, really hard to get today. Our Medicaid program does not cover inpatient residential care, only outpatient. And so this bill is going to fill an important gap in access to substance use treatment that doesn't exist today. And it will allow flexibility and local planning and local control in each of the 7 catchment areas for how they're going to apply this. There is some prioritization with the intensive residential services as the first priority, but whatever the local needs assessment and community action plan call for, that's how these dollars will be able to be used flexibly in each of those MSO regions. So this is an important bill, colleagues, and it really is, I think, one of the things we should hold up to anyone who's questioned whether or not legalization of marijuana and the imposition of taxes on marijuana has yielded any benefits or for the state at all. I think the fact that we now have these new tax revenues and a funding stream to really expand substance use treatment in our state is something to be proud of, that we've taken the opportunity of taxing marijuana and turned it into something that's really going to improve the public health and the well-being of people in Colorado. So please vote yes on 202.
Seeing no further question or discussion, the question before us is the adoption of Senate Bill 202. All those in favor signify by saying aye. All those opposed say no. The ayes have it. Senate Bill 202 is adopted. Mr. Majors, please read title to House Bill 1280.
House Bill 1280 by Representative Winter and Senator Lambert, concerning the regulation of air ambulance service and in connection therewith making an appropriation.
Senator Lambert.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move House Bill 1280. There are no committee reports.
Is there any discussion? Seeing none, the question before us is the adoption of House Bill 1280. All those in favor signify by saying aye. All those opposed say no. The ayes have it. Senate Bill 1280 is adopted. Please read the title, Mr. Majors, please read the title of House Bill 1373.
House Bill 1373 by Representative Singer, Senators Holbert and Marble, concerning requiring school districts to adopt a policy permitting the use of medical marijuana by students authorized to use medical marijuana.
Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move the committee lay over House Bill 1373 to May 2nd.
The question before us is the body lay over House Bill 1373 to May 2nd. All those in favor signify by saying aye. All those opposed say no. The ayes have it. House Bill 1373 will be laid over to May 2nd. Mr. Majors, please read the title to Senate Bill 163.
Senate Bill 163 by Senator Johnston and Representative Kagan concerning a study of an organizational recodification in Title 12 of the Colorado Revised Statutes governing the regulation of professions and occupations.
Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move Senate Bill 163 and its associated Appropriations Committee report.
There any discussion on the Appropriations Committee report? Seeing none, the question before us is the adoption of the Appropriations Committee report. All those in favor signify by saying aye. All those opposed say no. The ayes have it. The Appropriations Committee report is adopted. Question before us is the bill to the bill, Senator Johnston. And did you not see how the Majority Leader did that without discussion? Senator Johnston.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just wanted to read a couple of pages of the committee report that I thought was really meaningful. No, I just moved 163 and asked for an aye vote. Thank you to the Majority Leader.
Well, thank you, because that would have created a different motion that came from the chair. The question before us is the adoption of Senate Bill 163. All those in favor signify by saying aye. All those opposed say no. The ayes have it. Senate Bill 163 is adopted. Mr. Majors, please read the title of House Bill 1387.
House Bill 1387 by Representative Primavera and Senator Woods concerning health insurance coverage for severe protein allergic conditions.
Senator Woods.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move House Bill 1387, and there are no committee reports.
I'm sorry, what committee? Oh, there is no committee report. Is there any discussion on House Bill 1387? Seeing none, the question before us is the adoption of House Bill 1387. All those in favor signify by saying aye. All those opposed say no. The ayes have it. House Bill 1387 is adopted. Mr. Majors, please read the title of Senate Bill 193.
Senate Bill 193 by Senators Cadman and Sheffield concerning the duties of the Safe to Tell program.
Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move Senate Bill 193 and its associated Appropriations Committee report.
Is there any discussion on the Appropriations Committee report? Seeing none, the adoption or the question before us is the adoption of the Appropriations Committee report. All those in favor signify by saying aye. All those opposed say no. The ayes have it. The Appropriations Committee report is adopted. The question before us, is there any discussion on the bill? Seeing none, the question before us is the adoption of Senate Bill 193. All those in favor signify by saying aye. All those opposed say no. The ayes have it. Senate Bill 193 is adopted. Mr. Majors, please read the title of Senate Bill 87.
Senate Bill 87 by Senator Baumgartner and Representative Tyler concerning public utility fee funding for the Highway Rail Crossing and Signalization Fund.
Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move the committee lay over Senate Bill 87 to May 2nd.
Question before us is the motion to lay the Senate Bill 87 over till May 2nd. All those in favor signify by saying aye. All those opposed say no. The ayes have it. Senate Bill 87 will lay over until May 2nd. Mr. Majors, please read the title to House Bill 1056.
House Bill 1056 by Representative Tyler, Senators Baumgartner and Todd concerning requirement that the holder of an abandoned motor vehicle use the records of the National Title Search to notify persons with an interest in the motor vehicle that the vehicle has been towed and is subject to sale in connection therewith making an appropriation.
Senator Baumgartner.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move House Bill 1056. There are no committee reports, and ask for an aye vote.
Seeing no further discussion, the question before us is the adoption of House Bill 1056. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. All those opposed say no. The ayes have it. House Bill 1056 is adopted. Mr. Majors, please read the title of Senate Bill 138.
Senate Bill 138 by Senator Scott concerning a study of the delegation and functions of certain regulations related to motor vehicles administered by the Department of Revenue.
Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move the committee lay over Senate Bill 138 to May 2nd.
Question before us is to lay over Senate Bill 138 to May 2nd. All those in favor signify by saying aye. All those opposed say no. The ayes have it. Senate Bill 138 will lay over till May 2nd. Mr. Majors, please read the title of Senate Bill 143.
Senate Bill 143 by Senator Hill and Representative Papone concerning reduction in annual liquor licensing fees for specified licensees.
Senator Hill.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move Senate Bill 143 and ask for your support. Colleagues, we found just a discrepancy in what we were charging Colorado craft brewers for their license versus what we're charging Colorado distillers. This bill represents $110,000 returned to local Colorado businesses. It's come out unanimously so far. Ask for your support.
Is there any other discussion? Senator Holbert.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I want to thank the sponsor for his work on this, actually killing a prior bill and coming back and getting this done. So thanks for your work. This is a good bill. Vote yes.
Seeing no further discussion, question before us is the adoption of Senate Bill 143. All those in favor signify by saying aye. All those opposed say no. The ayes have it. Senate Bill 143 is adopted. Mr. Majors, please read the title of Senate Bill 69.
Senate Bill 69 by Senator Garcia concerning measures to provide community-based out-of-hospital medical services.
Senator Garcia.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and I move Senate Bill 69 and the Health and Human Services Committee report and the Appropriations Committee report.
To the Health and Human Services report, Senator Garcia.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Health and Human Services Committee report was based on some recommendations from the task force in simplifying the language to be uniform within the bill. I'd ask for your aye vote.
Seeing no further discussion on the Health and Human Services Committee report, all those in favor of adopting the report signify by saying aye. All those opposed say no. The ayes have it. The report is adopted. To the Appropriations Committee report, Senator Garcia.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and I move to the Appropriations Committee report, which just appropriated the allocation appropriation.
Is there any other discussion on the Appropriations Committee report? Seeing none, the question before us is the adoption of the Appropriations Committee report. All those in favor signify by saying aye. All those opposed say no. The ayes have it. The Appropriations Committee report is adopted. There is an amendment on the desk. Mr. Majors, please read Amendment L009.
Amendment L009 to
Senator Lambert. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move L009. This is a amendment to the Appropriations Committee report. The bill sponsor has been, we've been working together on a little bit of technical language on this with, in particular, the City of Colorado Springs Fire Department, which already has some programs in this area. They support this amendment, and I would appreciate an aye vote on L009.
Senator Garcia.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I thank the senator from Colorado Springs and agree and thank him for his work. I support the amendment.
Seeing no further discussion, the question before us is the adoption of Amendment L009. All those in favor signify by saying aye. All those opposed say no. The ayes have it. L009 is adopted. To the bill, Senator Lambert.
Thank you. I would ask for an aye vote on SB 69.
Seeing no, Senator Donovan.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just wanted to take a moment to rise in support of SB 69. This is an incredibly creative solution. It was driven by and created by a handful of EMTs coming up with solutions to serve their communities better. I'm really proud of this program. It originated in my home county of Eagle County, and I'm really proud to support the efforts to expand this program to any other communities across Colorado. So I ask for an aye vote and also want to thank the sponsor for his hard work on this bill.
Senator Garcia.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and I'll be brief, members. I want to thank the members for their collective work and the stakeholders in this process. It's a unique bill that has learned from many unique cities throughout the state that have been able to implement a process that will benefit Coloradans in the care that they're receiving. So I'd ask for an aye vote.
Seeing no further discussion, the question before us is the adoption of Senate Bill 69 as amended. All those in favor signify by saying aye. All those opposed say no. The ayes have it. Senate Bill 69 is adopted. Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move the committee rise and report.
Question before us is whether or not the committee should rise or report. All those in favor signify by saying aye. All those opposed say no. The ayes have it. The committee will indeed rise and report.
The Senate will come back to order. Senator Sonnenberg.
Thank you, Madam President. Your committee has met and had a number of bills under consideration, and I do not know what plural ducks is, so rather than quacks, I would ask Mr. Majors to read the report.
April 29, 2016, Madam President, Committee of the Whole brings the reports out of consideration of the following tax bills being second reading thereof, makes following recommendations thereon. Senate Bill 203 is amended, Senate Bill 201 is amended, or Senate Bill 201, Senate Bill 205, Senate Bill 202 is amended, Senate Bill 163 is amended, Senate Bill 193 is amended, Senate Bill 143, Senate Bill 69 is amended, passed second reading, order to gross place the counter for third reading and final passage. House Bill 1349, House Bill 1282, House Bill 1402, House Bill 1197, House Bill 1425, House Bill 1324 is amended, House Bill 1280, House Bill 1387, House Bill 1056 passed the second reading, order to revise place the counter for third reading and final passage. House Bill 1373, Senate Bill 87, Senate Bill 138 laid over until May 2nd, 2016, retaining their place on the calendar.
Senator Sonnenberg.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for the adoption of the report.
The motion before us is the adoption of the report to the Committee of the Whole. Are there any no votes? With a vote of 34 ayes, 0 no, 1 absent, the Committee of the Whole report is adopted. Senate Bill 203 is amended, Senate Bill 201, Senate Bill 205, Senate Bill 202 is amended, Senate Bill 163 is amended, Senate Bill 193 is amended, Senate Bill 143, Senate Bill 69 as amended, passed on second reading and ordered engrossed and placed on the calendar for third reading and final passage. House Bill 1349, House Bill 1282, House Bill 1402, House Bill 1197, House Bill 1425, House Bill 1324 as amended, House Bill 1280, House Bill 1387, House Bill 1056 passed on second reading and order revised and placed on the calendar for third reading and final passage. House Bill 1373, Senate Bill 87, Senate Bill 138 laid over until May 2nd, 2016 and retaining their place on the calendar. Message from the governor.
April 29, 2016, Colorado Senate. Ladies and gentlemen, I have the honor to inform you that I have approved and filed with Secretary of State the following act. Senate Bill 16 concerning the Scientific Cultural Facilities District in connection therewith amending the ballot question concerning the extension of the district to be submitted to the voters and modifying statutory provisions concerning the administration of the district. Approved April 29, 2016 at 1:48 p.m. Sincerely, John W. Hickenlooper, Governor.
Majority Leader Scheffel.
Thank you, Madam President. So, colleagues, we are almost done. We're just going to try to save a little printing time for the staff and bring up Monday's consideration of governor's appointments consent calendar. So, same process. We're going to bring that up shortly as a special orders calendar. Before we do that, we need to suspend the rules to bring up something that has not been listed on the calendar. We'll start with that. Madam President, I move that the Senate suspend Rule 15C for purposes of bringing up a special orders consideration of governor's appointments consent calendar. Ask for an aye vote.
Motion before the body is to suspend the rules, particularly 15C. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. The ayes have it. The motion passes. Majority Leader Scheffel.
Thank you, Madam President. Colleagues, so the calendar, this proposed special orders calendar is being passed out. We're just going to vary it a little bit. So I'm going to read through it. I can tell you on page 2 what we're going to leave off this special orders consent calendar is at the bottom of page 2, a member of the Board of Trustees for Colorado Mesa University, Betty Cox Bechtel. That one's going to be removed after conferring with minority leadership. And so I move that, Madam President, I move that the Senate take up a special orders consideration of governor's appointments consent calendar, which is made up of members of the Colorado Tourism Office, members of the Parks and Wildlife Commission, members of the State Board of Great Outdoors Colorado Trust Fund, Executive Director of the Department of Local Affairs, members of the Hospital Provider Fee Oversight and Advisory Board, and a member of the Colorado Traumatic Brain Injury Trust Fund Board at the hour of 2:59.
The motion before the body is to take up special orders, governor's appointments, consent calendar. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the motion is adopted. Mr. Majors, please read all the appointments on the special orders consent calendar. Governor's appointments.
Members of the Colorado Tourism Office Board of Directors for term expiring June 1, 2016, Andrea Fulton of Wheat Ridge, Colorado, serves as a representative of private travel attractions and casinos and occasioned by the resignation of Michael Andrew Duddick of Breckenridge, Colorado, appointed. For term expiring June 1, 2018, Kieran Kane of Lafayette, Colorado, serves as an at-large member from tourism-based industries and occasioned by the resignation of Robert Stinchcomb of Lafayette, Colorado, appointed. For term expiring June 1, 2019, Matthew Skinner of Telluride, Colorado, serves as representative of tourism-related transportation industries, reappointed. Sonia Quinn Riggs of Denver, Colorado, serves as a representative of the food, beverage, and restaurant industry, reappointed. Michael May of Parker, Colorado, representative of the hotel, motel, and lodging industry, appointed. Members of the Parks and Wildlife Commission for terms expiring July 1, 2019, Christopher James Castillion of Denver, Colorado, serves as representative of outdoor recreation and utilizes park resources, reappointed. William G. Kane of Basalt, Colorado, serves as representative of outdoor recreation and utilizes parks resources, reappointed. John Vincent Howard of Boulder, Colorado, serves as representative of sports persons, reappointed. Members of the State Board of the Great Outdoors Colorado Trust Fund for a term expiring April 15, 2017. Holly Jean Velasquez Horvath of Denver, a Democrat and resident of the 1st Congressional District and occasioned by the resignation of Peggy E. Montano of Denver, Colorado, are appointed. For a term expiring April 15, 2019, Catherine Ann Katnetch of Denver, Colorado, serves Republican from the 1st Congressional District, appointed. Executive Director of the Department of Local Affairs, effective May 1st, 2015, and for a term expiring at the pleasure of the Governor. Irving Leslie Halter of Colorado Springs, Colorado, and occasioned by the resignation of Reeves Brown of Fruita, Colorado, appointed. Members of the Hospital Provider Fee Oversight and Advisory Board for term expiring May 15, 2017, Anne Marie King White of Brighton, Colorado, a member of the statewide organization of hospitals, reappointed. For a term expiring May 15, 2019, William Patrick Heller of Denver, Colorado, an employee of the State Department, reappointed. For a term expiring May 15, 2017, Christopher Daniel Reber of Castle Rock, Colorado, an employee of a Safety Net Hospital in Colorado, and occasioned by the resignation of James E. Schmerling of Denver, Colorado, appointed. Members of the Colorado Traumatic Brain Injury Trust Fund Board for terms expiring June 30, 2018, Wendy Dietz Turman of Denver, Colorado, reappointed. Patrick E. Schneider John of Grand Junction, Colorado, appointed.
Majority Leader Shuffle.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that the Senate confirm the consideration of the governor's appointments detailed on the special orders consideration of governor's appointments consent calendar, which includes members of the Colorado Tourism Office Board of Directors, members of the Parks and Wildlife Commission, members of the State Board of the Great Outdoors Colorado Trust Fund, the Executive Director of the Department of Local Affairs, members of the Hospital Provider Fee Oversight and Advisory Board, and members of the Colorado Traumatic Brain Injury Trust Fund Board.
Is there any discussion? Motion is the adoption of all of the governor's appointments listed on the consent calendar. Are there any no votes on any of the appointments listed on the consent calendar? Seeing none, with 34 ayes, 0 noes, 1 absent, we have to the Colorado Tourism Office Board of Directors, Andrea Fulton, Kieran Kane, Matthew Skinner, Sonia Quinn Riggs, Michael May. Appointed to, with a vote of 34 ayes, 0 no, 1 absent, and 0 excused. With the vote of 34 ayes, 0 no, 1 absent, and 0 excused, we have appointed to the State Board of Great Outdoors Colorado Trust Fund, Holly Jean Velasquez, Catherine Ann Kanuch. Again, with the 34 ayes, 0 no, 1 absent, and 0 excused. Appointed to the Department of Local Affairs, Irving Leslie Halter, with a vote of 34 ayes, 0 no, 1 absent, 0 excused, is adopted. Appointed to the Hospital Provider Fee Oversight and Advisory Board, Anne Marie King White, William Patrick Heller, Christopher Daniel Reber, with a vote of 34 ayes, 0 no, 1 absent, 0 excused. To the Colorado Traumatic Brain Injury Trust Fund Board, Wendy Dietz Turman, Patrick E. Schneiderjan, with a vote of 34 ayes, 0 no, 1 absent, and 0 excused. That is adopted. Majority Leader Schiffel. Majority Leader Schiffel.
Thank you, Madam President. Colleagues, thank you so much for your diligent work today and for your patience. That concludes it. We're going to take some time for announcements here, and I will leave the desk open because we do have bills coming over from the House, so we will recess, but your work is done. I recommend, Madam President, that we move to announcements.
Announcements. Senator Newell. Followed by Senator Todd.
Thank you, Madam President. And for those of you that did not remember to wear your college clothes today, it is College Day in Colorado. And if you had your college clothes on, you could go to Cadoba's and they would give you a special treat. La Peep, they would give you a special treat. So if you still have your little card and you can pull out any of your college apparel, you can go. But take advantage of this time to talk with our youth and let them know how important it is to pursue their dreams and post-secondary options. Have a great weekend. Be safe, be smart, have fun.
Senator Newell.
Thank you, Madam President. Members, thank you to those of you who have donated to the MS Society for the MS Walk tomorrow, the Capitol Crew. If you have not, I still have envelopes available and would love to have your support with the Multiple Sclerosis Society. And those dollars go right here locally to find out why we have a high incidence of MS in Colorado and what we can do about it. Thank you so much, and hope to see you there.
Any further announcements? Seeing none, the motion before the body is dependent on Majority Leader Schiffel, is what it is. Majority Leader Schiffel.
Thank you, Madam President. In the absence of any other announcements or work, as I said, we will recess. I move the Senate recess to 3:30 this afternoon.
The motion before the body is to recess until 3:30 this afternoon. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the motion passes. Have a happy weekend.